So there's like people in hip hop who just continue to disrespect Doja Cat as if she's not hip hop. I don't really understand this whole argument that they have. What these people will say is, yo, Doja Cat, yo, she's not hip hop. She's a pop star who can rap. She's a pop star who raps, right? And she blurs the line between pop and hip hop. But they never explain. Like, this is like this surface level take. I'm not sure who said it first. This whole, yo, Doja Cat, she's a pop star who raps. But whoever said it first, congrats. Because people, your take has spread. People have taken your take and have just regurgitated it without even being able to explain what they actually mean. Like, what do you mean she's a pop star who raps? Like, which moment in that albums do you feel that the blurring of the lines occurs to where you cannot consider her a rapper? What album are you talking about? Or what moment in that album, again, what moment in that album do you feel like it's just completely pop and she's just rapping every so often, right? And we're gonna get to a quote that Doja Cat has, kind of defending herself against this. Again, this happens, seems like every couple years, she's having to defend herself against these claims as if she's not hip hop. But let's just get down to the nitty gritty, right? I mean, people put this whole cultural witch hunt, and there's this whole cultural witch hunt, the culture, and all that. People, I don't really think a lot of the times they really care about hip hop culture in the way that they try to pontificate. They don't like specific people, and they're going to use the culture, the culture word as a way to exclude them, try to exclude them without actually having to explain their issues, right? In any meaningful way. So Doja Cat is one of these people, right? She dates white guys. She was in, racial chat rooms showing feet, or people were not too fond of black people in these chat rooms. She was there. She was giving them FaceTime, airtime, and she's light skinned. This really doesn't help with certain people. Again, this is, if you're watching this and you're being like light skinned, why does that matter? You're right. It doesn't matter. But there's like a sect of hip hop to where they just don't like these people, right? So this light skin thing compounded with the interracial chat room showing feet, with the white guys, compounded with her having a preference for white guys, this has driven people to say she's not hip hop. That's literally what it is. Because there's no way you're listening to Doja Cat's music, you've listened to her albums, and you're like, yeah, this is not rap. Like, there's so many things that people in the hip hop community try to claim as rap. Go back to the Tommy Richmond thing, where his stuff is hip hop influenced, but it's not like rap in the same way Doja Cat is rapping, spitting bars, you know what I mean? People tried to claim Tommy Richmond. When Tommy Richmond was like, yo, I'm not just hip hop. People was like, nah, nigga, you're hip hop. So stop trying to run away from us. People do this with Tommy Richmond, but with Doja Cat, it's like, but we can't look at these things logically, right? Me, my logical mind, your logical mind, we are wired to look at things logically. The haters are not approaching this logically, right? They're not even listening to her music like that. They might hear a song here and there. We are trying to reason with people who don't even really know what they're talking about. They're just regurgitating takes. Remy Ma was another person who helped drive this take. Oh, Doja Cat, this is literally what every single person says. She's dope, right? Because they don't want to seem like they hating on her. We don't want to put out there we don't like her dating preferences or the fact that she's light skinned, right? Or whatever the fuck these people got going on. So we gonna compliment her first. Oh, she's dope, but she's a pop star who raps. Remy Ma helped drive this narrative forward. This is coming from Remy Ma, who does not even write her own raps. According to Papoose, like, she doesn't even write her own raps. Like, some of them, at least. I'm sure she writes some of them. But her big songs like Sheether, Papoose was like, she ain't write that. I wrote that, you know what I mean? So we taking hip hop cues from people who's doing, that's not even hip hop. So anyway, that's actually what's going on here. You see it all over the place, even in hip hop media. You can be like white or, light skin. And again, if you're listening to this, like, yo, this is like dumb. Like, what are you talking? I agree it's dumb, but I'm trying to explain to you where people are coming from. If you're white in this, you're like racially ambiguous, and you're in hip hop culture, right? Whether you're in media, you're a rapper, You can be there. People will tolerate you. People might even mess with your work. The moment you do or say something people don't like, they will flip on you. And the way they will flip on you is by saying, you're not even hip hop. This is a fact. Facts. Because let's say someone like Doechii, right? Let's just switch people, right? And Doechii's also dope. I'm not trying to pit Doechii and Doja Cat against each other. That's not what's happening. But someone like Doechii, who is, I guess, dark skinned, she's got the braids, she's more culturally acceptable for some people, for some subsect in hip hop. If Doechii is on these albums, you know, pop star, but she's rapping, she's spitting bars, every single album, like Doja Cat. Let's say Doechii got some pop hits, but she's rapping every album. Let's say Doechii came up as a SoundCloud rapper. Let's say Doechii has roots breakdancing, you know, 4 pillars of hip hop. She comes from hip hop, a hip hop city. She came up doing hip hop stuff. She's rapping every album. She's making her own beats. And she's got to the point where some of her pop songs have just rang off so crazy that she's now also a pop star. I don't think, you can disagree if you want, but I don't think you would then have people saying, yo, Doechii's not even hip hop. She's just a pop star who raps. I had to start this off by just being for real. But let's get to Doja Cat defending herself after being told she's a pop star, not a female rapper. This is silly. Doja Cat's not a female rapper? This is silly, man. Doja said, yo, please stop trying to downplay my ability. It feels like you're doling out criticism with no constructiveness based on something that's deeper than just a topic of music. I just explained to y'all what it is in layman's terms. I'm going to catch flack for that because I just said it straight up. But that's the only way I know how to say things. Well, sometimes I know how to dance around a topic, but this shit's not based in logic or reason. So sometimes there's no way to dance around it, right? So even Doja knows, like, yo, this is based on something deeper than just music. Because if you was actually listening to the music, you would not be saying Doja Cat's not a rapper, right? Doja Cat on one album, Scarlet, almost rapped more on one album than what Lauryn Hill rapped her entire career. Shout out to Lauryn Hill. But these people who saying she's not hip hop and all this, you ask them, what's your top 5 female rappers? Guarantee you they will be saying Lauryn Hill. Guarantee you, Lauryn Hill, who actually didn't even rap that much. Lauryn Hill, sure, she doesn't have much music, but she's on like 3 Fuji albums. She's got the Miseducation album, and she's got the MTV Unplugged album. So it's not like she just got one album, or she just appears on one album, and she got features. Lauryn Hill raps very little, even on that Miseducation album. People will put that in top rap albums. People just not listening to music. There's more singing and R&B on Miseducation than rap. I've done a whole video on this where I broke it down statistically. I went and counted the verses. You know what I mean? So the same people who saying Doja Cat not a rapper, they be having Lauryn Hill as a top rapper. Doja Cat, who raps way more than Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill arguably does not even have a rap album other than the Fuji stuff. Again, but we trying to be logical and reasonable with people who are not approaching this in good faith like that. They don't like her for other reasons. If I give you any bars, part of me feels like you will immediately shoot it down. That's a fact. Facts. Because it's not about the music with Doja Cat. They don't even listen to her music. They're not even listening through the albums to then even form these conclusions, right? The conclusion is already formed. So even Doja Cat knows it's not about music. Like, oh, I can give you bars or I could freestyle, but you're just going to immediately shoot it down. You're right, Doja, because it's not about music with you. What I intend with my work is for the listener to choose what they rock with and what they don't. Yeah, she does different looks. She's got the R&B stuff. She's got the pop stuff. She's got the rap stuff. But even on the R&B and pop stuff, a lot of it, like Cyber Sex, like Go to Town, she's still rapping on it. You have to give me a chance if you're going to make criticisms about the entirety of my raps. Doja Cat is still in the situation. She's still in a position where she wants to prove herself to y'all. Me, I would be saying, y'all, I don't care. That's just me. Because it's not an honest critique. See, if it's an honest critique, cool. Let me show and prove. This is not an honest critique. You have to listen. You have to read. How will you know? I skipped that part. Exactly. So Doja, like me, knows that these people are not even listening. They just don't like her for external reasons that have to do outside of music. I shouldn't have to sit on here on Twitter and give you a simplified, snipped, deconstructed, and without insulting you, dumbed down version of my writing for you to be able to hear what hundreds of thousands, and let's be honest, millions of people are recognizing as adequate rap bars. And by the way, that is a bar.
Bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
You aren't stupid. Listen to my music. Here's where you're mistaken, Doja Cat. They are stupid. I don't want to call people, actually, I don't care about calling people stupid, but I won't say everyone who has this take is stupid. I will say the take is stupid. The take comes from people who not even in her music like that. See, for instance, like, I may have a differing music opinion about someone, let's say like Jid, because I just did his album review, right? But even if people disagree, you can go in the comment section, people disagree. They respect the opinion at a baseline level because I've heard the music. Like, they just saw me listen to the entire album and I gave an honest opinion. They know I've listened, so we can have a conversation. These people, see, and I view these people as the same people who look at Lupe Fiasco and they'll be like, oh yeah, the skateboard rapper. There's no way you listen to an entire Lupe mixtape or album and left that album thinking, this is the skateboard rapper. You leave Lupe albums thinking, this is a very proud Muslim man. This is a very proud Black man. You don't leave that thinking skateboard. But it's the same like symptom of someone who's not listening to music. They're just hearing stuff here and there, maybe seeing a little clip on social media, and then they form a whole opinion about it. So for Doja Cat, this bothers her, right? Because she's, I don't know her background. I would like to see an interview where she kind of talks about this, because it seems like this has been something she's facing even before she became famous, right? But the idea that Doja Cat is not a rapper, and again, a lot of these same people were saying this, they was shooting at Tommy Richmond for not wanting to claim hip hop. And his music is way less hip hop than Doja Cat's. Like, his is actually blurring the line, right? He's rapping, he definitely comes from hip hop. It's hip hop influence. But Doja Cat shit is actually rapping. You know, but again, I'm trying to be logical in reasoning with people who is not logical in reasoning. That's like Jay-Z. Don't argue with fools. People from a distance can't tell who is who. You can't have a conversation with me about this unless you've heard the albums a couple times. Once you listen to the albums and then you feel, okay, she's not hip hop, she's not a rapper. If that's how you feel after you heard her albums, which I don't understand how you would feel that way, because she's rapping every album, but sure. And she's making beats on these albums, hip hop beats, but sure. She came up in the SoundCloud era as a SoundCloud rapper. It was a whole movement, rap movement that she came up in, right? But if you still feel that way after hearing the music and we can have a musical discussion on why you feel that way, that's perfect. That's actually what I like. Because we aren't at this point debating facts, right? We're actually debating opinion, and it's informed opinion. But again, these people, this is not an informed opinion. This is people just regurgitating. This is people who already have a feeling about Doja Cat based on something they saw, and they hear someone that they may like critique her, like Remy Ma, and they just regurgitate these opinions. That's what this is. This is like a low IQ hip hop discussion. But luckily, it's only a small subsect of people, because Doja Cat is a very successful rapper from the West Coast. So yeah, the West Coast stand up, Tarzana stand up. That's all I got for today. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Doja Cat Defense Squad. Y'all know I've been on the Doja Cat Defense Squad since like 2018, and maybe 2017. So yeah, you can disagree, but I'm on your head in the comments. I'm just playing. Let me know what y'all think for real though. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.